Hello everybody and welcome back to the League of Legends Season 1 Championships. We have the third game of the group stage coming up next between Against All Authority and Fnatic. So it's your home court, got two European teams. How do you think it's going to go?
It's a really tough one to call. I mean, we've seen Fnatic just, I'd say, quite easily pass over Pacific. The first game, we saw a really great game, actually. Let's not be brutal about that one, of course. Against All Authority, losing out to Epic. This one is going to be a really great one. Obviously, coming into this tournament, it's Seed 1 versus Seed 3 from Europe. Fnatic finishing third. They actually lost out to Gamed in the second, third place playoff game in the European qualifiers. I think this one is anyone's game right now, just due to the fact that, well, it probably is on any day, actually, anyone's game, but just due to the fact that Against All Authority lost their first game, Fnatic won the first one. I think they're on a real level playing field. The only thing that might work in Fnatic's favor is that they've just won that first game.
It's true. They're coming off of a little bit of momentum. They had the awesome AP Alistair that Xenon, of course, loves to talk about, his favorite player, Shushe. So he'll be back in the lineup again. And Against All Authority, they really are the favorite. They had an unfortunate loss first round, but I think they really are still the team to beat. I don't want to call it a fluke by any means. Epic worked hard, and they did a great job, especially mid to late game. But, we saw the early game. aAa had the better mechanics. They had better last hitting. They had, the first few team fights were theirs. They got the first Dragon. They were winning in turret kills until that Baron. By a lot of the metrics, they're really, really, really beefy still. So I would not count them out at all. AAA versus Fnatic, really a great game. If you asked me, 4 months ago, who are going to be the top two EU teams who are going to win this and are going to go to the finals, I would have been AAA and Fnatic. So, this is really one of the... Sorry?
Wouldn't you have said SK?
I don't know. I haven't personally seen SK, and everyone tells me SK is like the best team on paper, but I've never personally seen them succeed in really high-level tournaments. And of course, they'll be back for Season 2, and they'll probably do great, but AAA Fnatic. So speaking of them, though, we do have the interviews coming up, so we're going to ship that on over to Karen and Traveler.
Hello, I'm here with Kuja from AAA. How are you feeling?
Well, better. We went to eat, now we come down, so good.
Great, you got some fuel here, and so their next game is going to be a European matchup. You just watched Fnatic play. What were your thoughts on the last game?
On the last game? Still as earlier, we did mistake. We had problems with the hardware, so it's going good now.
Great, and should all be solved now, and so you're going to have a great game. Do you have any thoughts? How is your team feeling right now?
Oh, the team is feeling really good. We checked Fnatic match, how they played, everything. So we know them well, they know us well. That will be a rehearsal of all the match we did versus them.
Great. And how did you prepare to come here to DreamHack? You're playing in front of hundreds of thousands of people right now. No pressure or anything. But how did you guys really prepare for this?
Well, we try to play every day, at least 3 or 4 match versus other team. And ladder also.
Great. Well, best of luck to you, and back to the commentators.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are here once again. Traveler is applauding me out in the crowd. Thank you very much. We're going to go into this game pretty shortly. The game has not quite yet been hosted, but that will be going on very soon. So I had a train of thought, and I had something to ask you, then I forgot what it was. So now I completely have failed, and I'm completely blank. But strong team's going to do well. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to call Fnatic as the winner for this one, although I did speak to you yesterday and said Against All Authority are my favourites to win the tournament. I think the win in the last game will have given them some great momentum. The only thing I'm a bit worried about is the fact that Against All Authority lost their first game. From Fnatic's point of view, I'm talking now. And they've obviously, as I said, had a little bit of food and had some time to calm down, chill out, and watch Fnatic play, which is a big thing. Obviously, Fnatic watched them against Epic earlier on, which was maybe a bit better of a game to kind of comprehend how Against All Authority are going to play rather than the other way around. I mean, not to take anything away from Pacific, obviously a great team, but Fnatic really had a stable, I'd say, not easy time, but you get my point.
Yeah.
And I think Against All Authority are really going to come out flying in this one, but I think Fnatic's momentum will push them over. Oh, then again, I've guessed 1 game wrong already today. Why not make it 2 out of 2?
That's fair. Another thing I think is actually pretty big here is, going back to the AAA Epic match, Epic is pretty well unknown. There are only about 5 recorded games on record for a current patch that AAA could research and find out, the champions they pick and the things they do.
Yeah.
And one can easily say, oh, of course Darius plays Cinch, that's what he does. And there's some there's some truth to that, but he didn't really play much in the tournament matches in the North American qualifiers. So there's still a decent level of not really knowing what exactly is going to happen. They're not an easy to research team. But AAA, I mean, they play every In Cup. They are the Go for LoL. Sorry, I'm so old school. So there's a lot of they've played a lot of games from way back when, and so they're easily researched. And I have to believe that Epic really went in there and was like, okay, here's the champions they pick. They had to expect misfortune. I've seen Yellowstorm misfortune more times than I can count. And that seems like a very common pick for them. And so they got to sort of strategize around that a little bit, I think.
Do you think we're going to see Against All Authority taking Alistair away from the whole situation in this one after seeing how well Shushe played with him in the last one?
I think so, actually. I was talking with one of the players from Fnatic. I think it was Shushe. I could be wrong, but he's like, yeah, Epic didn't know how to ban against AAA. Like, they don't play Twisted Fate. They don't play Rumble. Like, yeah, those are both really good champions, but they don't learn them. They don't play those champions. Why would you, so maybe it is lack of research, maybe. But Shushe was like, yeah, they don't know how to ban. I mean, okay, yeah, they had the good ban on Nidalee, great, because Soaz plays them. But he's like, the rest were wasted. I don't know what you guys are doing. So this is a story where the teams actually know each other much better, and there's a much better chance of these guys actually doing more and more targeted bans. More so than we saw before. I kind of thought that, well, yes, Rumble's aimed at EU style of play. Most teams in EU play Rumble, but apparently AAA does not. So I would expect AAA to ban Rumble, because I think that Fnatic more likely is a team that plays that. I have not memorized that very well, but the way Shushe was talking to me, it seems like, yeah, Rumble's going to be a pick. Twisted Fate, again, not going to be worried about it for AAA. I don't know if Fnatic's one to pick him. It was picked by the Philippines team, so maybe that is highly contentious there. But really, the picks are going to determine a lot about how the teams know each other, I think.
Yeah, and we saw in the European qualifiers actually a great Anivia being played by Moma as well, which maybe something that Fnatic are going to pick up on for that one. I'll be interested to see those bans and picks coming into this match. Obviously, this is an important game for both teams, but maybe more for Against All Authority. I mean, they've got one game remaining after this one. It'll be against the Philippine side, and I think this is a really important game for them because, okay, the top three go through, but if you finish in third, you play the second place in the other group. Obviously, the other way around. So it really does matter when that second and third comes in.
Oh, it matters a ton. Not only are you playing, an arguably worse team, over in Group B, the top three favorites most people assume are Game DE, Counter Logic Gaming, and Team Solo Mid. But, Zan, the unknown team, right? We haven't seen what they're going to do yet. All we know is they like Pantheon. That's kind of all most of the players know, right? I actually was asked again by the Fnatic team, like, hey, do you know anything about Pacific? I'm like, honestly, no. Like, I haven't seen match VODs. I don't have, any real recaps. I haven't looked for them. So they're pretty big unknown. And we saw Rageblade TF doing some backdooring a little bit. They had some kind of cool things going on. That bottom lane was hilarious. Janna didn't get a double kill off of that dive because one of them was an execute by minions. But that aggressive bottom lane was really, really powerful. They pushed Corki and Janna back for a while, and it really kept them in that game. They had such a great, bottom lane, whatever. And I think that, it's okay, I think, for Garen and Corki just to trade kills constantly because it's kind of getting you farther and farther behind. If you die and get a kill and you're out of the lane, you end up getting less gold overall a little bit. And so they were kind of keeping Corki down even if they were trading back and forth. And that lane ended up going, I think, to the Philippine team. And you just see cool things like that happen. You're like, they picked up Garen Tarek, and it worked really well. And I think we're going to see the same thing where Zan can do that same thing. So we're talking about Group B, even though we're talking about Fnatic versus AAA. But yeah, I think we're going to see some crazy things just overall from the groups. You certainly want to do better and better so that you can play the easier team, which was the entire point of what you asked me, and then I went out and talked about something completely different.
Improvisation.
Improvisation and just...
And of course, Fnatic, if you're only just joining us, are playing with a substitution throughout today. PK actually, I'm not sure if he missed his flight or whether the flight was cancelled or what.
I think it was a delayed flight.
Or
I think it wasn't his fault.
Okay, well, as long as it's not his fault, we'll let him off. But obviously, Fnatic have We Will Fail in here, and he's actually playing on PK's account, so try not to get confused with that too much. I know I'll probably, in a team fight, just call him PK anyway.
Well,
because
thankfully,
that's
I call him by champion names. So Malzahar doing stuff. Great. Can't screw that one up unless I get the name wrong, but that's a little bit harder to do. Nunu and Amumu, that's the difficult one.
Anumu.
Yeah, that's... Ooh. There's a couple... Oh, there's Cassiopeia and Cassidon. You want to say Cass a little bit? That's not great. There's a couple others. I'm trying to remember the other ones that are really close together that, like, as will Epic fail at. I'm trying to remember.
It'll come to us.
It'll come to us.
Maybe one of the games.
One of the games we'll just see, like, the lineup of everyone... The cool thing is you can actually have a team of all A champions. That's really powerful. We saw that in the North American qualifier. We had like Alistar, Annie, Anivia, Ashe, and then Amumu could be the jungler. So like, and it's a full lineup too. You've got like Mage. Like,
and really confusing when you're going into those teams.
Yeah, it's useful. I think they should do that to troll us. Like, never mind winning $100,000. Just troll the commentators should be in the name of the game here. I think that's the appropriate one to do.
In the final, probably the best time to do it as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you're in stage. You got just hundreds of thousands of people watching you. You've got a crowd in person. Just no, we're gonna troll. Let's go ahead and go pirate themed. You should all get pirate skins. I think that'll work really well. Rumble, Katarina, Gangplank for obvious reasons. I think that's a decent lineup right there. Just throw that one out there. Yeah, I think I would just run that strategy.
Ninja team we saw in the European qualifiers actually.
Yeah. I think that's good.
Seemed to work for a while, but not quite long enough. And we're just actually missing 3 guys from Against All Authority. I'm not sure if they're getting their way in here. It looks like it if I take a peek over there. So. You can see on your screen the Fnatic guys who are in good spirits after their first win.
Yeah, they're pretty excited. And there's some interesting chat going on that hopefully won't get shown on stream. Shushay they're basically quoting each other about silly things that get said. I do a lot of those too because I talk so much, as I think we're all well aware here today. I slip up quite a bit, and they're pretty good. Okay, apparently we're getting the players set up right now. They're going to be a little bit delayed, so we have a little bit more time to kill, but certainly going to be jumping into that game as soon as the players are ready. 9 of the 10 are in. We're waiting on the 5th from AAA right now.
Yeah, we're actually basically on schedule here as well. In fact, this game's not due to start until 1 minute. And also, by the way, at the same time, we'll be going on Epic versus Team Pacific. That will have no shoutcast, but I assume is on
it is getting streamed.
Another stream.
There is a secondary stream. I'm not quite sure where it is linked, but we do have someone in the back room opening up the laptop, getting into the game, making sure he's going to stream it to the secondary stream. No, unfortunately, no commentary, but again, we do have the game will be available for those wanting to cheer on the Americas or cheer on the Southeast Asian teams. Game's going to be on there. Really, if I were home, I'd just have 2 tabs open and just have both games open and just watch them both, right? There's the games up there. And thankfully, because there's no audio for the second one, you don't get confused and it'll be great. Not shotguns the wrong games or anything. But yeah, that game is up there. You can go find that. Not quite sure where, but I'm sure you can find it on the forums, on the Season 1 site. It'll be there somewhere, I guarantee that.
Yeah.
But this is the one we wanted to bring to you. It's a fairly old school, I think, European rivalry.
Very. I mean, these two teams, if you look through their kind of history, obviously very lineups in Go for LoL and EMS, things like that over quite a while now. There's a big storyline behind these 2 teams. And actually, we heard Kuja saying there in the interview, we know Fnatic well, and it's definitely the same the other way around. So I expect a really close game from this one. And Against All Authority against Fnatic is always a game that can go either way. Depends on the day. Today's Friday. So.
Today's Friday, so.
No, it's Saturday.
Wow. Freaking A, man. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll just believe you, Joe Miller. It's not even like Friday
I feel like
in America.
I've been here in Jönköping for 5 days already, but it's only been 2, but just 2 very long ones.
Yeah, well, certainly the travel days are always fun. When you lose 9 hours because you go forward, at least your travels.
Not so bad, actually.
Yeah, yours
just
is
really early in the morning.
Mine was get up at, well, actually I stayed up the entire night, but left my apartment at 6 in the morning, get on a flight, get on another flight, get on another flight, get on a bus, get to the hotel, wait for our rooms, get into the rooms, try to get electricity working because our converter plugs weren't working, so then finally got my laptop charged. And then we went and got food, and then we came back, and everyone was like super tired. But it was like, no, wait, we gotta stay up and have this meeting about what we're gonna do on Saturday because I got the day right this time. Thank you. Yeah, so now I'm actually awake and have slept last night, and it was great. But yeah, you're lucky you had like a total of 5 hours travel.
Actually, I'm quite surprised that most of the guys don't seem to be jet lagged at all.
Yeah, they
seem to have beaten it.
Yeah, I mean, some people have talked about how little sleep they got. One fortunate or unfortunate thing, if you want, I was talking with Dan Din, name and summoner, who is rooming with his brother, Reginald, on a different team. Yes, we actually have brothers on different North American teams in this tournament. They're actually in different groups as well, but they might butt heads later. I would love, by the way, if they were actually like 2nd and 3rd seed and like fought each other for like the right to go on to the top 4. That'd be just hilarious drama to me. Then you can just say, which brother's better? But yeah, so they're rooming together because it's pretty easy to book room for people who are related. That's pretty easy to do, right? Apparently Reginald was like, yeah, I'm gonna stay up. Like my game's later in the day, whatever. Like apparently he was staying up and talking with people or whatever. And Dan's like, I want to sleep. What are you doing? I'm going to DreamHack in the morning.
Sabotage.
Yeah, so he got sabotaged by his own brother. So Reginald got 3 hours sleep. I don't know what Dan actually got, but It's just fun talking with the players and seeing these little things come out. It's kind of interesting stuff.
So we have 4 from Against All Authority. I assume our last one will be on his way here in just a little while. And don't forget, for you guys that are obviously at the event, we do have the Spin to Win wheel where you can win some really cool stuff. Actually today, some T-shirts up for grabs. Obviously, the Riot Fist Bump.
The Riot Fist.
I didn't even spin the wheel.
You could do this right now.
I got 2.
And then you can do the fan.
He taught me this one earlier, but I'm not feeling it just yet.
It's awesome because you do the fist bump and then you flick the fan out and then you fan yourself. I think it's glorious. I mean, everyone has their own fist bumps. There's the jellyfish. You know, you can do that one. You can explode. There's one that's the rocket ship where you fist bump and then one like puts his hand up and you kind of like go up like a rocket ship. That's another one. There's so many kinds. There's more. You want? Should we really be discussing fist bumps, or should we choose a different topic? I mean,
what is the topic? I forgot already.
So a couple of things to point out, getting things out of the way. So we have a free-to-play area over there. Of course, if you're on the stream, this doesn't matter to you, but if you can see me, hello, it's that way. We have a free-to-play area. Games are installed. Later on in the day, we will have Play versus Riot. We have a ballot box over there in front of the giant banner. Put your team names in, put your players in there. You can play against Riot later today. We will have that going on throughout the week. And that's going to be fun. Quick shout out to Pay Safeguard for sponsoring the HD stream. Thanks to you guys getting that going on. Also, quick shout out to SteelSeries. Actually sponsored us a bunch of mouse pads just in case the players didn't bring their own. A lot of these players, really, it's their first time coming to a LAN event. AAA and Fnatic, I think these are second ones now for IEM. A lot of the American players have not really gone to these yet. And it's really funny watching inexperienced LAN players. They don't bring all their equipment. They forget to bring a keyboard or a headset or a mouse pad or their iPod or whatever it is. Like there's something that like they need and they forget to bring it. Like Shusha's like, I need music going on. Like, why don't you have a portable device with music on it? They make those nowadays. I hear you're a professional gamer. You can probably afford those.
I heard there's lots of websites that play music too these days.
Yeah, right. But so you know, we got the sponsored out. You know, big ups there. But you know, at least Fnatic can play both. They met at IEM before. I believe they were the grand finalist teams. And one of the common storylines we've seen in European play is AAA is the best on paper, and I think we talked about this the last time, but we've grown like twice the number of viewers now online, so hello to all the new ones. AAA seem to fail at LAN. That's what they seem to do, that they're great on team, great team on paper, there we go. And then, you know, on LAN they lost to Fnatic in the grand finals at IEM. They lost to Epic here, due to no small part of Epic playing amazing, but like that Baron shouldn't have happened, for example, right? Like, I don't know if it's pressure or what, but they seem to fail a little bit when it really counts.
Yeah, obviously there is a different feeling playing from home in your pajamas or whatever, with your feet on the desk. And playing at a LAN event, I mean, you know, you've got different tables, your chairs are different height, it doesn't feel the same, and it does take a little bit of getting used to, which hopefully from aAa's point of view, that's something that they're getting used to as they go along. Maybe they can attribute that to their loss. I think it was more of the fact that Epic just played such a solid game throughout. But I think the level of play as we go through the day and through the tournament will increase as well. We'll be seeing more amazing stuff from all of these teams as we progress through.
Yeah, and most specifically, watching the cool things come out from these teams is I really want to see what familiar play looks like. You know, we saw Epic with AAA where the teams were pretty much blank slates to each other. Apparently, you know, AAA really hasn't seen Epic play much because they haven't played much. Yeah. Epic apparently did not ban properly. If they knew AAA, like Shusha did, he'd be like, of course you would have banned these guys and not Rumble. What are you doing, right? So kind of interesting to see. You know, that was unfamiliar play where they sort of just like choose strategies and just let's go for it. Let's mash heads and see what happens. And it worked out well for the Americans. Here we have actually familiar gameplay where they know what they need to ban. They know what champions these guys play. And certainly you have the occasional targeted ban like you had with the ban at Akali from AAA, little at help of them, of course. So interesting to see how that's going to play out. Looks like we have SOAS in the game. He says fixed. We are ready here. All right, I think we're going to move on, and we're going to go for the picks and bans. So stay tuned. Let's, okay, type go in chat. Yes, we are ready to go, I believe. And looks like we are ready to rock the picks and bans. Yep. Second group stage game for AAA and for Fnatic, and here we are. Yellowstar first banning Alistar. Who would have thought?
Look at that. Thought? Yeah, not really a surprise after what we saw in that last game against Pacific from Shushi playing Alistar. And the second ban, obviously coming out from Fnatic, will be Irelia. Nice.
Yep. Well, they're so far all targeted. Alistar and Rumble. And again, they were talking to me about how Aurelia is a really common pick for AAA, not Rumble. It's Aurelia. So bam, targeted ban with Aurelia, targeted with Alistar and Rumble. It's fun to see these and you look like, oh, they're really scared of Soaz playing Aurelia.
Yeah.
Okay. 10 seconds for Cyanide to get his second ban in. For those of you just joining us who are not familiar with how tournament draft works, you can see that on the screen what the picks and bans are. There's another targeted ban with Karthus. So in ranked games, and especially in tournament play, you have not only exclusive pick, where if one team picks a champion, the other team cannot pick it. So if one team picks Caitlyn, it's locked out for the other team. It's exclusive. You can never have a duplicate champion. The second thing is you actually ban champions. There's 3 per team right here. Alistar, Rumble, Twisted Fate, Aurelia, Karthus cannot be picked by either team. Generally speaking, that means you target them at the enemy team. If you target Karthus saying, you can't play Karthus, we don't really care if we can play Karthus or not, so it's no big, skin off our teeth. Immediately another targeted ban aimed at Soaz. So that's actually like 2 straight bans aimed at him. Momo, the Karthus player. So aimed at 2 of those players, those strong mage types. So you can ban out champions 3 apiece. There's the 6 bans right there. And then you take turns picking the champion. So Yellowstar has the first pick. I'm thinking Nunu right now. I think Nunu is going to be the giant pick right here.
Yeah, definitely to have that power of the counter jungle that we saw in that last game actually being utilized by Fnatic, and it will actually be Anivia.
Ooh,
so I guess that'll be handed over probably.
Yeah, I forget if it's going to be Momo or Soaz, because Soaz not playing tanky DPS. Double Mage is actually a fairly common lineup choice in EU, as long as you have a tank jungler. And since Amumu and Nunu are both available, you can have a tank jungler regardless of the picks. I don't think they'll run lane Nunu. It'd be hilarious if they did, but I don't think it's going to happen. But interesting to see Amumu pick so quickly, because I was talking with True Eskimo, one of the American players newly joined Riot team, top player 2200 rated or something like that. And he was saying, why would you ever first pick Amumu? Because you're letting the enemy team last pick Nunu. And those seem to be the common high pick junglers, those tank junglers. They fit so well into every lineup. They have great counter control and ganking, and well, Nunu has great jungle control. Amumu's just kind of fast, and those are the really common picks. And you're basically letting the enemy team pick a very late beefy jungler and not really worrying about the fact that you care about getting Amumu.
Well, we see Ashe being picked up there by Kuja, who will most likely be handed off as well. And Momo now having the second of the picks, or actually it'll be the third one for against All Authority.
So he's traditionally the mage player. I don't know if they're going to pick up a fast support. Probably not. Right now, your purple team, Fnatic, have already locked in 2 core roles, Taric and Amumu. So they have 2 big tanky guys now in front, and they have the support in the jungle locked in. So they have a wealth of mages, a wealth of ranged AD, a wealth of support. Well, actually, no, support's been picked up with Taric. So really, they can just sort of pick whatever they want at this point, and no ranged ADs have been banned out. Ashe has been taken, but Corki, Misfortune, Vayne, those are all available. And interestingly enough, another point of comparison, Vayne was immediately snapped up by Epic Gaming in that last game we saw between them and AAA. And here it's I'll pick Ashe. That's cool. But Vayne is not this highly contended pick, so it's really cool to see these different styles mesh out. Where these bans are not bans you would see for the most part in North American play. Ooh, yes, thank you so much. Captain Teemo is on duty, and for those who watch the North American qualifiers, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was late. I'd been captain for 2 days straight. It's the only excuse I have. I'm about as happy as I was from Dyrus picking Singe last time. They're freaking Teemo, and I hope it's Badger Teemo, just because Honey Badger Teemo. Yeah, I had to. I was told. Oh, I got trolled by XPK. Why would you do that to me? I really wanted to see Captain Teemo. I would zoom in on him and follow him around the entire game, and I would get yelled at on the forums. I wouldn't really, but. Yeah, anyway, so great picks there. There's a double mage lineup. Really cool to see Brand and Vladimir picked up. We didn't see either of those actually in the last series either. And I think Vlad was banned. Yeah, he was banned. So cool to see Vlad's debut in this tournament. Really good picks there. And there's that Nunu, of course, picked up on Linak, who is actually the jungler, so no swaps needed for him. We see again a chain of flashes down. And Sona, I know this lineup. This is the run around and initiate from 5 screens away and kill 1 person lineup. This is great. So basically the team comp is Ashe. So Nunu and Sona haste most of the team. Sona gets the entire team. Nunu gets himself +1. With Quantum Reduction, he can get himself +2. They have an Ash arrow shoot across the map. He hits someone. Anivia walls and Gragas ults. And whoever got hit by the arrow is pushed into the entire enemy team. The entire rest is pushed back a screen, plus they're walled off. And then Sona can also ult. So basically one person just got completely separated out. It's a free kill. And they're gonna run this long range, like super pokey lineup, which is interesting because I'm actually surprised they didn't go Janna. Like they didn't pick a de-aggro champion like Janna to like say, okay, well we're gonna flash in and push you away so you stay safe. They're not even getting a heavily like save me champion. Like they didn't go Zillion for a mage. I guess it got picked already, but very interesting lineup. So the swaps are going through. Looks like AAA picking up Gragas. Oh, sorry, swaps are going through. So yeah. Okay, yeah. So Yellow Star, ranged AD carry, going to be playing Ashe. You've got Momo the mage, going to be picking up Anivia. So he was the Karthus last time, I believe. Yeah. They've got Kuja support again on Sona this time. Linak again jungling. This time he's got Nunu, and then Soaz. Gragas, Ignite Flash, going to be doing a lot of damage. Probably the solo top or solo mid. I forget if Gragas takes if top or mid. Over here on the other side, we got Sign and FI, jungling with Amumu. Lamia Zealot playing Misfortune. Again, Misfortune picked twice in a row here on these European teams for their carry choices. Brand is brand new to this tournament. Oh, I'm hilarious. Vladimir, a great mage choice, very, very highly contended. And Tarek is my personal favorite support. I'm really glad they picked him. Every time I see Tarek, he does well.
Well, for you guys that aren't familiar with the new tournament client that we've got with the obviously amazing spectator mode, the teams do get a little bit of time after they finish their picks to obviously change their runes, get their mastery set up, and obviously talk a little bit about how the game's going to go. So yeah. 2 minutes they get for that. We've got about 40 seconds left still to go with this one. But from the bans and picks that we've got right now, or obviously more importantly from the picks, who are you looking at to be edging out in this one?
I really like AAA's lineup. I like that strategy. I've only seen it work. I've never seen it fail. So the haste mobility pick across from across the map, really cool lineup. And that's not even just talking about the fact that they have absolute zero, ice arrows and Anivia, the crystalline, Cryo Phoenix. But their lineup is really cool even aside from that. Meanwhile, I mean, it's really, Brand is very fiery. I'm going to stop at the puns now because I'm really bad at them.
The Brand jokes.
Yeah.
Are flowing today.
They're flowing like lava. Okay, but seriously, very, very AoE lineup here from Fnatic. They've got, interestingly though, I like Tarek. He's a really strong champion, but like his stats, like he has an armor buff and he has an AD buff for the team. Neither of those work really well, both with and against the enemy lineup. He has no other AD champions on his team at all, and there's really not a lot of physical damage coming from AAA. It's really all about Gragas and Anivia. And I mean, yeah, Ashe does some damage, but everyone else on that team has like straight, like strong AP damage. So I think Tarek is still worth getting regardless, but that does happen a little bit. Where we're like, some of his stats are going to go to waste a little bit, but he's, glamorous in pink. That is awesome. The game is loading in, but they have a really strong AoE lineup. Brand, Vladimir, Misfortune, Mumu, all AoE champions. So they can start a team fight correctly. They can crush that team fight. Right? There's a little bit of there's a little bit of dispersion with Gragas, but it's not that same level of real fights. But we are now into the game. Let's go ahead and kick this one off. We are in to the next game. AAA and Fnatic going to try to keep themselves alive in this tournament. Let's get a round of applause for these teams as we go into this game. All right, and here we are. Joe, why don't you kick us off this time?
Yeah, and a fairly standard position. I mean, Fnatic actually going straight down middle, down in towards that bottom river bush, and against all authority, not too dissimilar. And they're actually pinging up towards the top area of Fnatic's jungle at this stage earlier on. And they are going to maybe start moving in. We saw Kuja buy 3 wards, so probably tries to get that vision out. Yeah, Linux just dropped the 1 ward that he bought in that fairly aggressive position just by the bush at the Wraiths. And Fnatic still sticking around down by that bottom river area. They're pinging down towards blue and up towards the against all authority blue area. But still no real sight seen. I don't think we've seen the Clairvoyance pop. Yes, we did. Sona dropped a Clairvoyance 4 against all authority, and Melisande did, but I'm not sure if they really got any sight from it.
I don't think the teams have really spotted each other yet. I mean, there is the aggressive ward here from AAA, so when Fnatic crosses over towards the lizard side of the map, they'll be fine. Looks like Fnatic went to camp in this brush early on here and say, okay, if you come to aggress us by this golem, we can spot you and jump on you and get the drop. You've got, Amumu stunning, Tarek stunning, Brand's got a lot of damage output. Vladimir, not the best level 1, but probably went Sanguine Pool if he needed it for that fight. But looks like, yep, Fnatic going to get their golem safely. Looks like not even going to get much help. LeNac just kind of alone there. There we go. Anivia will come to lend a talon, not really a hand so much, and gonna push that golem out, pull that, tether it out, and there we go. There's the damage output. There's a nice little crystalline shot there. Going to be fine. And we've got Gragas versus Vladimir up top, and Anivia versus Brand. So Fire and Ice in mid. I'm going to keep that one played up over this tournament. This is really probably one of the biggest. I think there are two major rivalries in this tournament, and they're in the same groups. And it's AAA versus Fnatic, and it's CLG versus Team Solo Mid. And those are really going to be the major, I think, rivalries that are really going to mean a lot here. That I think the crowd is going to really want to see. And in addition to the giant overtones of NA versus EU and how good is Southeast Asia, we've got a lot of really cool storylines sort of going on in this tournament. And right now, it's Fire and Ice, and I'm okay with that one right now.
And in middle, actually, we've seen MoMA, as I mentioned before, in the EU qualifiers, playing a very, very solid Anivia game in that middle lane. And Shushi's going to try and actually put some early pressure down there. And does get
shot.
The shot off down on bottom, maybe a little bit of pressure. We saw Lamiu, of course, is playing Misfortune, down to around about a third of his HP remaining in that one. Meanwhile, obviously, the two junglers, or at least amumu, going about his regular pattern. We saw Nunu go back home and picked himself up some boots.
That's pretty good. You really do want to get fast boots of speed on Nunu. He is probably one of the best ganking junglers. Amumu is very strong. He has a stun, but he's relying on landing that skill shot. So he can get... Oh, and here comes the pressure on a yellow star. He does cleanse, so it's going to be okay. But that cleanse has already been used now, so he's got about 2 minutes, 2.5. I think it's a 150-second cooldown. He's got 2.5 minutes of not super safety. And the thing about Sona is she's not a good babysitter like Janna, where she can push enemies back and really give you a giant burst of heal. She can keep you at full health, but that's it. And there's the pressure on in mid. Gonna hurt pretty bad. She's usually down to about 2/3 health. Nunu and Anivia putting out that ice combo, doing some nice damage, and that's gonna work pretty well. But so far, no major gains, no major strides in. Another clairvoyance comes off from Tarek. Gonna watch for that jungler. There's a CV there. Sees that Nunu is not going towards the right, just going back into his own jungle. But Mumu is jungling much faster. He's already level 4, going to pick up the rest of that lizard camp, and he's in good places here. He's going to recall back. They know that Nunu is far. They can see the rest of the lane, so he is safe to recall back to his base. Gragas staying in the brush with the Doran's Ring, doing nice damage. PK, oh, actually, not Lemmy Zealot, but Weeble Failer getting really, really low here. And if Soaz does still have Ignite up and Flash, he could burst about 300 health. So it's going to be pretty close. This is when the barrel comes out. PK will dodge that one. Sorry. Weeble Failer will dodge that one. I'm going to keep getting that one wrong, unfortunately. But MoMA getting pretty low. Here comes another Nunu gank. Just throws an Ice Blast on a Shusha. Looks like level 2 Ice Blast now. So LeNac doing pretty well for himself. And coming back into that one. Another Ice Blast comes out. Shusha getting lower and lower. And LeNac just being super annoying right now. Sign at FI. Level 4. Has a Philosopher's Stone. Has those 2 wards. That's really good for the team. It's going to drop one right there. It's going to spot. No, maybe not right there. I'm wrong. Going to put it lower, farther down, I guess. Nunu staying relevant, though, in this fight. Has been clairvoyanced, so he will not push in too hard onto Brand. Looks like Amumu not even going to drop a ward. Is going to get behind Soaz. PK's got to be careful. Jumps onto a barrel and dies to Ignite. What are you doing, bro? He just jumped onto that. Oh, that's... I mean, he deserved it. Well played by Soaz, but that was a kind of a silly mistake, honestly. That makes me uneasy. I don't know. This is kind of silly.
Yeah, and actually Cyanide, when he went in to try and put some pressure onto Soaz, even managed to bandage toss his way onto a minion. Down at bottom, you can see Yellow Star going very, very low, and it will be Lamy who actually finishes it off, but also fairly low in here. And we see the flash from Kuja. Lamy will actually escape that one with 56 health remaining. And well, it was a nice aggressive push from Kuja, but didn't quite have that damage output. Lamia is still hanging around there, though, and we are going to see a little bit of action kicking off in middle. There is Ignite onto LeNac. Is he going to survive? 20 health. Good flashing from Shushi, and that will be the kill. MoMA just out of range there, and that could have been very dangerous for MoMA as well, and he's actually going aggressive there.
He's got Egg, and Shushi's out of mana, so Niga's fine to play aggressively here. Can throw out a ton of spells. There's the blast coming out, not quite getting the damage. Oh, but he's going to get egged right there by Shushe. Oh, there's the ultimate, and yes, he has been egged finally, and what else can they do? Soaz showing up. Looks like they're not doing a whole lot there. PK pushing up mid. Sorry, I got desynced in the spectator real quick. Looks like we're back. And Shushay taking a ton of damage, getting dropped by soaz once more. Sorry for that desync. It's like, Anivia's egg still. What's going on? And then we caught up, so apologies there. But yeah, I've mostly, I've seen a lot of aggressive play this game, but the deaths have almost been entirely from mistakes where, Ash turned back around to fight Misfortune and died when she got away. It was PK, or it was really Weebo Failure actually failing and rocking back into that Gragas barrel. But soaz playing a wonderful game right now, doing lots of work. He is 2-0, 37 minions. We can see tons of last hits on all sides. And he's going to push PK into that turret, taking a lot of damage right there. And the body slam. Oh, it's going to be close. And there's the barrel. He's not going to quite land it, but he jumps right back in there, picking up that kill. Great play by soaz. 3-0, really earning himself these kills right now. Really, really wonderful play. And yeah.
And they try to maybe get soaz out of the game, taking Aurelia away, just showing that, well, Gragas can do the business for him as well. Yeah, it's wonderful to see AP Gragas running around, throwing out barrels and doing wonderful stuff. And he's actually going to pill back, grab some new items, got a ton of ability power, and he's going to grab, it looks like a catalyst, actually. Yep. Whoa, I scrolled randomly. Okay, we're back. So how do you think this game's shaping up so far? 3-2 so far, slight gold advantage and kill advantage to AAA. Yeah, that slight advantage. The problem is from Fnatic's point of view that 3 kills have all gone to soaz, so they need to be very careful about what's going on up in that top lane. And maybe, amumu has to start to shine in there. The problem is Gragas, and even when you get 2 guys on him, he's not the easiest person to kill in the world. So I think they're going to really struggle. We actually get the stun in there. Yellowstar will manage to get himself out, but it's Kuja that's now getting the focus from Lamia. And of course, Kuja will keep herself alive with that one. We'll heal Yellowstar up first of all. And the minions coming in onto this tower, and we may just see Bran come down for a cheeky attack. Yeah, we are going to see Bran coming through the jungle a little bit. He might invade onto the Lizard. Looks like it's not quite what's going to happen here. Ash still at bottom lane. Looks like she tossed out a hawk shot. And as we sync up into the game, Bran's going to come in towards the bottom. Super tall, by the way. That guy is gigantic. And they're going to push onto this turret. They've got a 3-man push at bottom lane. They are in position to defend Dragon if it needs to happen, and they are up, and the damage output is going. Melisande is not level 6, so cannot add any bonus damage. Looks like not too much will happen here. Still, soaz and PK, and I keep getting that one wrong. Weebo Failure fighting up at the top lane, and Weebo Failure going to last hit a few of these minions. soaz with a ton of ability power. You can see just getting these guys out of like 5 health apiece. There's the ultimate coming in as well, just constantly harassing him. He's going to recall back to the base, actually. Looks like he'll pick up his catalyst. Another barrel comes out there, 29 gold picked up. Weebo Failure still lasting as best he can, doing a decent job there. And it's still a 3-man bottom and amumu in mid. Looks like they're not ready to let amumu go whack into the jungle. So they're just going to keep pushing out here. Anivia doing a wonderful job at killing these minions out. Has golem buffs. These guys are dying, and it's pretty much for free. So Momo just farming out tons of gold. Going to get top creep score pretty soon. 63, 66, 64 on his team. So all the AAA members within 3 minions of each other, and all in the 60s at only 9.5 minutes in is really, really strong. Meanwhile, we got the 40s and 50s for these guys down here on Fnatic. Yeah, really nice stuff so far from amumu. Obviously, Cyanide that's playing that one, but Fnatic are that 1 death behind, or 1 kill behind as it should be. And it looks like they're possibly shaping up for a dragon kill here. There is a ward in place actually from Against All Authority, so they need to be a little bit careful. The problem is that Against All Authority don't really have anyone near there that can actually come in and challenge that one. So Fnatic are going to take a dragon, and it's going to be completely free without taking any damage whatsoever. Gragas is pounding away up on that top tower as the rest try and get themselves back into position, but soaz is going to have a bit of a field day and probably going to take this down to around about a 3rd health. Yeah, he'll have to pull back pretty soon. There's only about 5 shots left in these minions before he has to retreat, but he's doing tons of damage while he can. Unfortunately, a minion almost got in his way, couldn't body slam out, but he managed to make that shot out. And yeah, honestly, it was really good play by Fnatic because I don't know if they knew that Nunu was gone, but they certainly knew where the rest of the team was. And yeah, they just jumped as all 5, and there was really no reflexes left and no time available for the other team to come back in and stop that. Nunu, though, still jungling very strong. Has picked up Lizard buff. Did not pull Ashe over to pick that one up, though. I kind of would have done that. I would have given Ashe the Lizard and let her run around. But Nunu is, of course, a strong ganker with Ice Blast and this Lizard buff. Just adding those slows together going to be quite a lot to deal with. Weebo Failure, only level 8 against soaz is 10. Some of that is, of course, champion kills. Some of that is just soaz playing wonderfully right here. And yeah, he's going to just drop these minions down as best he can. Going to pick that one down as well. And he keeps going back into the rush when he pushes those down.
never really goes for the turret damage. He's always sort of cognizant of being ganked, so he kind of stays pretty passively, kills the minions down, tries to see if We Will Failure can last hit anything, manages to push a few of them away from him. You can see it's you know, 85 to 54, so giant gold advantage, not even counting champion kills. And they're doing a good job here.
Yeah, right now, Shushi starting to look like he was going to push a little bit in middle, but not quite. Down on bottom, Melisan, not so long ago, actually forced Ash to once again use that cleanse. Really feeling Yellow Star that he wants to be safe rather than sorry when it comes to getting those stuns from Tariq. And both times I think that we've seen it with his cleanse up, he's used cleanse instantly on it and got himself right out of that any possible trouble that might come his way. We've got Soaz, as per usual, at top, just exploding those barrels and doing a ton of damage. Actually already has his blasting one plus the catalyst in place.
Yeah, he's getting pretty beefy up there. He's got 91 ability power with very little of that from items, so the Runes of Mastery is kicking in for him quite nicely. Look at the carries over here. Lamia Zealot, only with Berserker's Greaves and a Doran's Blades, who's not super farmed. Yellow Star only with 2 Doran's Blades and no special boosts, so the attack damage carries really haven't been back to base much to buy any major series of items. 12.5 minutes in is too early for a giant thing like a Black Cleaver or an Infinity Edge, but certainly they can probably pick up a BF sword in the near future if they haven't gotten enough gold for it yet. They should be soon. You can see Miss Fortune, 76 minions, but the first to break 100, Anivia and Gragas both. So still, AAA, we saw that last game where they were fighting Epic. They just have the mechanics down. Their players are really good at killing minions. And that gold shows 15.3 to 15.0, which is almost nothing, but realize that Fnatic got a dragon kill. And their jungler has 56 minions to Nunu's only 35. So, you know, amumu, like I said, is a very fast jungler, very good at killing these monsters down and getting himself leveled up. Nunu more of an aggressive ganker style, and it shows with the extra kill they've gotten, although he hasn't assisted on anything. So I take it all back. Nunu's actually been a bit of a depreciation for them. He hasn't invaded well. He hasn't really stopped amumu. He hasn't got that many kills. He's only died. He's behind in minion kills compared to the enemy jungler. So amumu actually really outplaying this one. Props to Cyanide.
Yeah, Cyanide, as I mentioned, just doing a fantastic, solid job at the moment. But the rest of his team a little bit behind there. Kuja coming under fire, but obviously gets herself out of that slow from Miss Fortune. Won't be too much of a problem. So as per usual, he's just hugging this top bush and causing a few problems to We Will Failure. And that top tower is very, very low as well. Down to just 280. That's gone probably on this next wave.
You can do it.
We'll see We Will Failure going a little bit aggressive. There goes a charge in. And actually the ulti being used onto Peak. Yeah. Onto We Will Failure, as it actually
And here
is.
comes Momo. He's going to land the stun because he already used Pool. He's going to flash out, but that's going to be a turret kill, so you are right. It will die in the next push. Good job there by Soaz, picking up the first turret kill of the game, bringing them up 17.8 to 16.8, so 1,000 gold there. 3-2 on the champion kills, 1-0 on turret kills. Still the minions with the advantage. Down on Dragon, but that's not the hugest deal in the world. It just means gold, and they're winning on gold, so whatever. Down at the bottom lane, just Lamia Zealot farming away. 95 versus Ash's 109, so still just by almost every metric I could think of, AAA winning this game by a little bit.
Yeah, BF sword and pickaxe for Ash.
Oh, that's pretty powerful. That's going to be a lot of nice damage for her as we're going to watch her leave over towards mid lane. Still has the 2 Doran's Blade as well, so 186 attack damage. Lamia Zealot, 141, has picked up, looks like a Bloodthirster Rush. Has the BF Sword and the Vampiric Scepter. And yep, there we go, 2 wards as well. Good play. So that's pretty good. He's going to go for the Bloodthirster. Ash going to go for Infinity Edge with the BF Sword and Pickaxe. About halfway down on that item. Still needs the Crit Cloak and the Recipe. And you see Melisson taking over mid.
Kuja's just put down the pink ward as well on by Dragon, so they can be sure that they don't miss this next one, as obviously what happened in the last time. And against all authority, have pushed straight through this middle tunnel turret, so it looks like they could be going just straight through here. I mean, I'm not sure what Fnatic can really do to stop this at this stage. Brand will join in, but by the time he gets anywhere near, it will be down. And there goes the Ice Arrow. And we will see even the ulti coming out from Gragas. And Shushi is so low, but Soaz actually flashed over, trying to get in there closer, but was just a little bit too far away. Obviously, we saw on the bottom there, Lamia for Fnatic pushing that bottom turret, but, you know, bottom turret for 2 in the middle, not quite an even trade.
Yeah, not quite. And actually, timed themselves perfectly for this dragon attempt. Looks like Fnatic is coming down to stop them. I don't know if they can jump in quite in time. Looks like, yes, the wall comes out from Anivia. Beautiful play there. They're going to keep on this, but they're still getting into range. This is going to be really close. Yellowstar is still taking all the damage from that dragon. Kuja getting pushed back by Misfortune. It's getting lower and lower. Who's going to pick it up? Looks like aAA will get the dragon kill, and they're going to move on. They have made XPK dance. We will fail their dancing quite a little bit as Vladimir. Damage coming out on the moment. PK getting lower and lower. Will he's died to Ash. He heals himself again, but Ash will pick up that kill. Misfortune pushing back onto the enemy team. Looks like they're going to be just barely okay there, but more damage coming in from Fnatic. They're going to try to pick up onto Linak, and that will happen. So 1-1. The dragon picked up by AAA. Good advantage there. But they're still in decent shape.
Yeah, they've lost only one from that one. It's not too much of a terrible situation. Obviously, they did take down We Will Failure as well with Vladimir. And we almost saw Nunu get away as well. Unfortunately for him, Melisand's stun cooldown was just finished in time, I think, once he got out of there. And it looks like Fnatic will be going home. And I guess we will see Lamia be completing maybe his Bloodthirster at this stage. I'm not sure how much farm he's got. No, not quite.
So as they're getting closer and closer to Rabadon's Death Cap, has the catalyst just for the landing and the overall durability, picks up that blasting wand and goes for the Death Cap, and it is up there. 274 ability power, 2 wards also in tow. Look over at Yellowstar. Still, he has finished his Berserker's Greaves now, but has not yet finished Infinity Edge. His Lizard will help him, give him 60 gold right there, plus that Lizard buff, of course, super powerful whenever he attacks. His physical attacks will slow enemy champions and units and add a damage over time effect. So every time he hits a guy, it's going to be really, really easy to chase him down. Ash already is very good at slowing enemy champions, has those frost arrows both on basic attack and on volley. So right there you see volley coming out, snow beneath the feet. Really good at keeping that one going. This rough going to be picked up on Lamia Zealot. Does not quite still have Bloodthirster, but getting more and more gold over time, going to be closer and closer to that item. Really wants to farm that one up and add a ton of attack damage, which will give her really, really powerful ultimates.
I'm surprised actually that we've not really seen an Oracle come out from either side just yet.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, Kuja not wearing an Oracle, though she might have died with one. No deaths there. We look over at Melisand. Melisand doesn't have it. Yeah, neither team has ever even tried to pick one up. We did have the pink ward down earlier, although it didn't really help Fnatic very much as they got Dragon anyway. They did manage to get a gank there, which worked all right. They got 1 kill for 1, which is not too bad, but it was a kill onto Nunu, and Nunu's been dying anyway, so it's not really the best kill you want. Vladimir 0-3, unfortunately, kind of sandbagging the team, but has a lot of spell vamp, so that will add up for Brand. It will add up for Amumu. It will add up for Misfortune. Misfortune does have her Bloodthirster finally. And so over the next 5 minutes, you're going to see Fnatic start to power up quite a bit, actually. You're going to see them be more powerful than they have been. And a nice little ward. They're actually dying to minions, though. Kuja puts a ward down, and it drops to the OP Purple Caster minions of Forum lore. And then AAA is ready to push the top turret.
Yeah, they're there with all 5 Fnatic. Not so far away, though. aAa have to be careful now. We see the Bandit toss coming in onto Yellowstar. Ultimate used by Amumu. And we see Linak in a little bit of trouble. There goes the Ice Arrow from Ash. We go down once again. Vladimir, who is now 0-4-1. Not having the greatest game in his life, is We Will Fail It. And against all authority, will quite happily take that one and continue to push in a 5-on-4 fight. Shushi fairly low as well, as Soaz manages to grab the aggro from that tower. But they are going to just push in there, and obviously Soaz's barrel, so much poke, the wall from Anivia, and this is something that you talked about before the game even started. They can control the way that Fnatic have to be positioned.
Yeah, and it's working gloriously for them. They really are. There's a nice play there where they put the barrel out and then drop the wall down here so that even if you pass the wall, you'd walk into a Gragas barrel with like 500 damage, and you don't really want to do that. So they give themselves a nice number of turret kills, 4 turrets to 1, 5 kills to 3 overall. Now up about 3,500 gold, so they're bringing up the advantage. It's not 3,500, not a lot. It's less than 10%, so that's not a huge. Well, actually, sorry, it's more than 10%, less than 20. Mouth is hard, apparently. Nice. Mortimacia yells out in the crowd. It's so fun being here at DreamHack. It's people cheer for kills, people yell into Demacia. It's super awesome. It's great to be here.
Yeah, great atmosphere. And it's only the first day, actually. People are still arriving, so I assume it's going to get even crazy here on the League of Legends booth. Down at the bottom, we've got Yellowstar actually pushing alone. but he's got no minions with him. He will have Linak and Kuja to join in with him, so this bottom turret possibly going to come under a little bit of pressure. There are all 5 still there, though, for Fnatic, so I'm not sure exactly how well this is really going to work out for Against All Authority, but we've seen them before pick off the first kill using those great ultis of the Ice Arrow from Ashe and also the Gragas Super Barrel. And they are still hanging around there, so maybe they will still go for this one.
Yeah, they're staying around. soaz now does have... Oh, and there's the initiate. PK getting stunned twice, but will cool out. There's the ultimate from Brand. That damage is huge. Misfortune putting out a ton as well, but Melissan getting pushed back, still healing himself with Philosopher's Stone. Shushe taking way too much damage right there. He's got to be really, really careful. And yeah, AAA in wonderful shape. Another Sun comes out. This is not happy for these guys. There's a flash out from Misfortune. Emiazel staying alive. AAA waiting for the minion wave, and that's going to be a couple seconds in the making, so they're going to chill out for now. So I was going to toss some barrels. Look at the brush. Will not find anyone there. That's fine, though. And Fnatic actually retreating. They're saying, okay, you know what? You got this one. You're right. You're healing better than us. That Sona doing a wonderful job. Gragas is poking too hard. Let's give you this one away. It's fine. We'll come back later. We'll battle again. We'll be all right. So Momo picking up the credit for that turret kill. Now up about 4,000 gold. And the ping on Baron. Baron's been pinged by AAA. You never know.
We'll see if they go for this one. I mean, there are no wards from either side around Baron at the moment. I tell a lie, there is one down. I'm not sure how long that was ago that was put there. And there's a second one being put in as well. So they have some vision to Against All Authority around this Baron area. We see the pings going down towards Dragon, which is up now. And Fnatic are moving in. Don't forget, they got the first Dragon kill. Second one went over to Against All Authority, and it looks like they could be going for this one. Actually, they've got the arrow off onto Melissan. Not sure if they're close enough to finish it off.
Ooh,
great flash from Melissan to get himself away. I'm not sure it's going to be enough, though. He's got Linak constantly harassing him, trying to heal himself up as much as possible. Stun went out there onto Linak as well. He's got plenty of mana, Melissan, but there's just too much damage coming in. We've got Fnatic moving in from the south side. Of course, they did take down Dragon as Melissan was going down, so they might not be too unhappy about that whole one. I didn't see who finished off the kill. Was it Linak?
I don't remember who got the kill credit.
No, it wasn't.
But that was actually I think Nivea got that
Moma,
one. Yeah, Nivea got that one. That was actually probably the best trade that Fnatic could have hoped for, because they went for Dragon and AAA was like, yeah, let's kill Baron. Right, that sounds like a great idea. But Tarek showed up at the exact right time. He blew flash, but so did half the other team. Actually, well, by half I mean mostly just Nivea and Nunu, but that counts, right? And they, you know, they waste a lot of summoner spells. Melissan's not worth a lot of gold. I don't think he was yet wearing an Oracle's, but I could be wrong. I know Sona has one, but I don't think Tarek had picked one up just yet. And so they really, you know, they forced a lot of damage. Oh, but PK getting caught right there. The damage output is huge. He will flash and pool, and soaz says, nah, I'm going to kill you instead. Great shot there. We will fail there. Great job by soaz. Coordination by the entire team was wonderful. Another kill picked up. So now, you can't really say worth it in chat anymore. See, he kind of died.
Oh, arrow. Went straight up the middle. Melissan once again is going to find himself in trouble. That wall from Momo has been just perfect every time we've seen it go down. It's in the right place. And Melissan last time obviously flashed around to keep himself alive a little bit longer. This time it was all but done, as we see 2 wards being put down right at the front of the Fnatic base. Against All Authority, just going to steamroll through now. Obviously 5 versus 3 or 4 situation now, as We Will Lame It does come back into the game. But this inhibitor at least is going to go down.
Yeah, they're going to
back off and go Baron now.
Yeah, they'll back off. They have the chance at Baron, absolutely. Oh, they ping Lizard, though. They know that's up. Looks like soaz going to go down and look for Golem, though it won't be up. The Clairvoyance does reveal that, so he's going to come back over. And they're going to lead the way. Yellowstar going to pick up the Lizard buff for herself. Herself being Ashe, the player being male. For what that's worth. In case you were confused, guys, in case you were confused. There you go. You have it. I don't know. That was completely random. Pronouns are hard.
He, she,
it,
whatever. Yeah, so it looks like they're possibly going to at least hang around here, get some wards back into position, make sure that they you know, don't allow Fnatic to get anything that they shouldn't be at this stage. And Fnatic, I think from this point onwards, they're going to have not just an uphill struggle, but maybe climbing somewhat of a cliff.
Yeah, they've got to be really good at repelling right now. Actually, is repelling going down? Repelling's going down, okay. They better hope that AAA starts repelling down the cliff and Fnatic can start climbing. They are down fairly significantly, 6 turrets to 1. Inhibitor obviously is gone. AAA really with better map control. Let's check this one out, and yeah, you've got wards pretty much everywhere. Look at this, they've got the entire upper jungle warded. They don't really care about the lower jungle. Yeah, Golem's nice, but Dragon's gone for a while. Baron's the most important one. Meanwhile, you look over at Fnatic, and wow, they've got Baron and minions. So that's not super happy. That's not really what they want. But they've got a chance. So they have still a really good team comp, but still, every time they've done that, every time they set up that AoE right there, so it just says like, yeah, explosive cast, toss, and someone gets pushed out and stops channeling. Usually it's the misfortune. The entire team disengage, and here we go on to Baron.
Yeah, and they were just waiting for Sona to come in there just to get rid of any wards that were hanging around. We see We Will Fail It just coming in from the top side, and actually the Clairvoyance was dropped in there as well. So Against All Authority decided, nah, not quite worth it just yet. And we see the arrow go off, and I think it hit Cyanide, who was actually Banshee's Veil.
Yeah, he hit Cyanide, Banshee's Veil. The crystalline wall from Anivia went off. Although they actually pulled a super minion into the jungle. That's pretty cute. But Amumu actually had the ability to run up top here and not really be in danger, but he flashed backwards over the wall, which is actually probably the worst play, because then he can't come to join his team if they get initiated on. He has to walk all the way around this cliff over here. In the end, I mean, it's a flash cooldown. It's not the end of the world. Ash's arrow's down too, so it's okay to trade cooldowns for cooldowns, but flash much longer cooldown. And wow, AAA doing a wonderful job at ward control, and they're now pushing on the bottom lane, and this could be really, really good for them. They're doing a lot of damage to this turret. Pull the scoreboard in case you want to look at those items before this fight, because it's going to go away when the battle starts. And Ash leading the way up top, playing super aggressively, probably not going to get caught too badly, so it won't be a big deal. But they're going to push in, continually kill these minions. Amumu and Brand really going to put down the AoE. And there's the wall. Looks like they're going to go for it now. Another barrel coming out. Yellowstar putting out a lot of damage. Has to be a little bit afraid of Misfortune, and Tarek should still have that cleanse up. Actually, it does have that cleanse up. So actually, every summoner spell, then every ultimate but Crystalline Arrows up on AAA. And they're just doing a lot of damage to this turret right now. Ash poking very, very well. Has the haste buff from Linak and from Kuja's Sona. It's working out pretty well for him.
Yeah, and they're just fending off this last wave maybe that's coming out, and they also have a minion wave coming up behind them, but they've been a little bit reluctant to push out there once the wall is in place. So from MoMA, as you mentioned, the ultis, all 5 of them are up. There goes the wall, and a barrel just slid in there to give it a little bit extra cover, and they're not going to go for it just yet by the looks of things, just putting out as much damage, poking in as much as they can onto Fnatic, who know they have to hold this turret. They can't afford to be losing a team fight in this situation, otherwise aAa are going to steamroll straight through. And actually they've pinged back down toward Dragon, so we might see Against All Authority back away and take the extra money from that Dragon. Nope, they're going to go back in. Fnatic had actually moved a few guys back, and that wall's going to be even more impressive now, because Fnatic can't get anywhere near to stop this turret going down. There goes the arrow in onto Cyanide, and he will escape that one. Turret is really just threadbare. 230 health remaining on it.
Yeah, a ton of damage coming out from the Fnatic team. It's basically 3 attacks from Ash will drop that turret down, but they don't want to play too aggressively. If they get caught by Amumu and Brand, they'll potentially lose the game. They'll give up a lot of kills. They'll potentially give up Baron, and then Fnatic can come back and do everything that they want. But the turret is down. They're now into the inhibitor, into the base. And again, they're getting pushed back just barely, but this Golem buff, Anivia, so hard to deal with. And a great ult from Greg as Melisson having to get flashed to get himself out. Will barely survive that. But Linak going down. PK picking up his first kill, honoring PK as We Will Fail It. And there's the dance from Sona, and goodbye Vladimir. Oh no, just kidding, pulls away just in time. Cyanide FI getting stunned, but not too big a deal. The inhibitors respawn. Now, will they save the inhibitor? That's the really important thing, because that's going to mean map control. And actually, they will. They're actually okay. Wow, nice. Good job by Fnatic.
They've defended really well there. Yeah. Spectacular. Obviously, we saw Linak going down. Tried to flash. I think he was just out of range to get himself over the wall, and kind of flashed straight into it anyway and went down. And we've got Soez, who's just mopping up in the jungle on that Fnatic side. The question is, will this next move from Against All Authority be off towards Baron? Fnatic still have everyone alive, so it's not going to be an easy decision from Against All Authority. Obviously, Fnatic's items starting to catch up now, and we see Banshee's Veil on 3 of them so far.
Yep, it's on most of the important ones. Tarek's still pretty easy to kill, but he's got decent health. He's got actually decent resist, 120 armor, 92 magic resist, 1700 health is not a lot. There's a lot more health than most of the other champions here. Vladimir at 2200 and decent resist as well. So he's in decent shape. Looks like Navy going back to the base again. Has picked up Void Staff. Chugs the blue elixir, but he chugs it before the battle even starts. He's in base and drinks it. He's got item slots free. That's a minor mistake. You don't want to eat the elixir until the battle actually starts, but in case you forget. But we got Dragon coming down right here. aAa doing a pretty good job of this one. They're just gonna pick up that Dragon for themselves. 43 to 3,600 gold, 15% up. It's pretty good.
And the thing is, against All Authority now, not really surprising Fnatic wherever they go. I mean, Fnatic did get themselves a pink ward onto Baron, so they know that they're not there. They can expect them to be pushing in at some point here soon. The problem is for Fnatic, obviously, they don't have a turret down on the bottom lane, they don't have a turret in the middle lane, and they don't have that extra power really to defend. There goes the Banshee's Veil being popped away from Cyanide as well, which will obviously annoy them that little bit further. Against All Authority, still hanging around by the steps. Are they going to push in? Yellow Star will again move his way in. Barrels down to control as well, and Yellow Star just using his range and obviously the immense damage that he's putting out right now, up to 207 attack damage. Just to poke in there, do as much damage to the inhibitor as he can. Brand actually hitting big at this point. What's he got? Yeah, almost 300 AP that Brand has. And against All Authority, just pinging around. Yeah, there's a ward just being dropped down there for the site. As the Demacia shout comes out again from the crowd. There goes the wall. Is this going to be the push on the inhibitor? Cyanide will bandage toss onto the ward. Not sure it was the best use of it, but okay.
It's 75 gold, but it blocked the bandage toss, so they got to stop and initiate. That gold does eventually add up. We saw that get dropped down earlier. Last time they pushed for the turret, they dropped a couple down trying to block Amumu's bandage tosses. Unfortunate for Amumu, of course. They're going to jump down, though, and grab the golem. They're doing a very good job of playing aggressively. They're pushing the enemy team back and allowing them to take over the jungle buffs. That's a pretty big deal. We're going to have Momo taking another golem for himself, and that's just awesome. The wall comes out, going to pick up that kill, just refreshing that constantly. They could go for Baron. You can see that Fnatic's going to try to push out the waves now, that they have the ability to react to a Baron attempt. More map vision overall from the minions being pushed, and less threat on their inhibitors. If they do get juked, they still will force AAA to go through a couple of minion waves, lest they get caught in the middle of nowhere with minions on both sides in a 5v5 team fight. Even though minions only do so much damage, in fights as close as these, they can actually win a battle for you. We saw in Fnatic versus Team Pacific, minions actually got a double kill at bottom lane. So certainly can mean a lot.
And against Authority, just portaling back again, we saw Ash go in there. Does have a Phantom Dancer, Infinity Edge was built up earlier as well. And Fnatic are still hanging around by that Baron area. Clairvoyance was just used by Against All Authority by Kuja on Sona. But they are pinging Baron now. There is another ward being put down in the back of it. And Against All Authority, you can kind of tell the tension in this game. They know each other so well. Against All Authority are now going to go for that Baron. They'd initiated it before they took away the ward at the back, but it's down to half. Here we go. Fnatic starting to work their way in. Will Against All Authority hold on to it? It certainly looks like it. Are they going to get the steal? Kuja actually goes down. Against All Authority did get that Baron buff. Arrow missed there by Ash, and this could be very dangerous. Linak is going to fall. Momo's not exactly healthy either. And Momo will be dropped down to the egg. I'm assuming they're going to finish that one off. Yes, they will. And it just went pear-shaped, to say the least, for Against All Authority. Soas has managed to take out Melisande, but he's the one that's now going to get pressure from 2 and now 3 very hard-hitting champions. That's a very wise flash that he took there to move over to the top side and get himself over to a bit of cover by that turret. Ash is there as well. In comes the stone. There goes Brand. Goodbye. And it will be Lamia to finish it off. And Fnatic, you know what? They've brought it back to 9-8. Only a 7k difference in gold. Obviously, they're 7 turrets behind. They've stripped down to their inhibitors on the middle and bottom lane. But this is definitely not a game over.
Oh yeah, that was a beautiful fight from Fnatic. They got the kill on the support right away. That was huge. She had flash up, so she got caught by stuns basically. And that's the thing, when you're frail, when you're Sona, and you have no resist and 1700 health, you need to be very safe in those fights. Your entire point of being in the game is staying alive, because every button you press buffs your entire team and gives some specific benefits and damage and healing and whatnot. Like, the entire point of Sona is to stay alive the entire fight. If you don't stay alive, you are very, very useless. Compared to Janna, you can throw out a shield, you can throw out a tornado, you can ult people back, you can blow your cooldowns, and okay, if I die, you know, it sucks, but, you know, I did what I came to do for the most part. Sona really needs to stay alive, so that's been a really wise play by Fnatic to pick out Sona first. It's done a lot of good things for them. And you see now Brand getting pretty far, 254 ability power. The other mage there, PK, we will fail her, 471, and again, he has that spell vamp tome, which means Shushe gonna get some nice free ability power and spell vamp from that. Meanwhile, I look over at MoMA, 414's pretty good, and Gragas, 525. Now has Zhonya's in addition to Rabbidd's Deathcap and Banshee's Veil, so he's nice and beefy now. And yeah, 2,400 health, over 100 on both resists. He's gonna be scary.
And against All Authority, going for this one right now, and as the Banshee's Veils are being knocked away, Linax is still active, but, well, they'll take down that inhibitor once again and push around, I'm guessing, towards the bottom inhibitor. As Kuja just wards over the top. Not allow Gragas to just throw in.
Yep, gonna be okay. Wards coming down on both sides of the wall, trying to spot each other. It's great because we have the green ward here. That's from AAA, so they can see into the base. And then Fnatic was like, well, let's put one here, and then it got spotted by Clairvoyance or by Oracles and just died. So AAA can see, Fnatic cannot. Sad face there, but actually ward control really impressive. AAA has like a little bit of the jungle, but Fnatic has like tons of it. Okay, maybe they timed out. Maybe I'm just wrong, but it looked like they had a ton more wards than they did when I just switched the view. But
yeah,
never
Sona,
mind.
I think, on the top side took out one of them, and there was one over on the north side of the river as well.
There's another one they could spot almost. Didn't quite see it under that cliff face. So actually, you know, AAA did do a bit of repelling. They did manage to jump down that cliff a little bit and made it a little bit of a closer game. Fnatic 5 strong, pushing through in mid right now. And they're doing some nice damage. And it's a base race. AAA's coming up the right-hand side, and yeah, Fnatic's like,
Fnatic's losing this one if they go for it.
Oh yeah. So they're up onto the inhibitor. They should come back just barely in time. It's going to be close though. If AAA stays to fight, they could get caught. Yep. Oh, great wall. They will pick this one up. Can they run in time though? If they can get a flash ult, they can get all the kills. Oh, they didn't go for it. Okay. Oh, his flash was down. I mean, we had about a half minute left on flash. Right, they can see the cooldown timers. Yeah, that push gave away an inhibitor. I mean, it was close, but they just couldn't quite do it. So that was well played there by AAA overall. They just jumped in there again. That movement speed team. We're still in with Nunu and Sona, hasting the team around and getting in there quite well. Yeah, that's been pretty glorious for them.
Yeah, neither team really willing to make that kind of overextension. Obviously for Fnatic, they've got 2 inhibitors down. Now is the time where they need to be defending and making sure that against All Authority aren't going to be pushing too strongly through. But we've seen the entire team from against All Authority go back, so we could be going into, in their minds at least, the final stages of this one.
Yeah, I think AAA smells blood. They've got 2 inhibs down. They're going 5 top. And the cool thing about having 2 inhibitors down is those minions will ever so slowly push the Nexus. That champions have to actually pull back and defend that, or they will lose Nexus turrets. The Nexus turrets do regenerate health over time, so if this were ever injured, it would gain about, it's like 3 health a second or so. It's pretty slow, but it does catch up in a long game. But with 2 inhibitors down, you have these super minions just charging in. Look at those stats, 300 damage, 4,000 health. Like just ridiculously beefy minions that will just truck down these turrets. And so it's really up to them to drop turrets. They do it really well. Normally turrets can defend themselves decently, but even the regenerating ones actually will drop to a double inhibitor death. And so basically these guys can siege up top, and as soon as a champion comes in to help a Nexus turret, they can push it into 5v4. And with Gragas ult and Anivia wall and Anivia ult, they can really pick down single targets. So they're getting ready, and there comes a move into the front. He's going to get blocked out by a wall a little bit, but it won't quite keep him out of the fight. Looks like he'll be safe for now. A little bit of damage coming out from We Will Fail It, but PK, wow, down to half health already, even with 78 magic resist. This spam is really good for AAA. They have Anivia and Ashe, who are really good at spamming, and Gragas as well, really good at spamming for out of range. And that's been adding up for him, actually.
And this turret is so low as well. It's going to be down with this push for sure, and you can see that Fnatic not really going to try and challenge that one. Obviously, Cyanide did bandage toss in there. Arrow actually, it did connect onto We Will Fail It down by the back turrets, but they're not obviously in a position to go for it, and that's an interesting move from Cyanide. He will initiate that fight, and Brand ulti comes out as well. We Will Failure is going to be down low. He needs to be very careful, decides to flash his way out, just about gets away, not quite though. Melisande in trouble as well. There goes the wall. Cyanide will fall with a Mumu. Ultimate came out from Lamia, but this the inhibitor surely going to be the target here in a second. They're going for the kills. There goes Miss Fortune, and obviously there is pressure now on both of these Nexus turrets. In fact, they're both down. The Nexus is now going to be the main focus, and we are going to see Against All Authority picking up this game and their first victory.
First victory, 1-1 in the group. Both AAA and Fnatic 1-1 at the same time. We've had Epic Gaming versus Team Pacific is going on at the same time. We'll get the result for that pretty soon. But
it's finished.
It has
by
finished.
the looks of things.
Okay, so we'll get the result of that game shortly, but wonderful job by these guys. AAA came out so strong this time. Just wonderful, wonderful play. Fnatic, a little bit unfortunate there. I mean, they did what they could. Lamia Zelt just not seem to have really the damage output he really wanted. You know, 2-1 is great, but Bloodthirster, Hexdrinker, Banshee's Veil is not really the high DPS build you're looking for when you need to carry a game out. Certainly a lot of plus AD, a lot of magic resist. You look at the enemy team and you're like, yeah, let's get some magic resist. Certainly, you know, wise choice to play defensively there, but it just couldn't, I don't know, they didn't have enough damage. They would sort of open up and Anivia would ult, and Anivia would ult, but Amumu would ult on their team, and they would front load a little bit, and then, you know, as soon as Gragas sort of broke that party up, they weren't able to quite keep going. They didn't really have the ability to sort of really keep pushing the damage out there. Brand managed to lose a lot of ultimates. They went for that. They went for that Ashe early on, and she timed her cleanse perfectly. Yeah. You know, Amumu went in there and he ulted, and then that's when she cleansed, and it was like, all right, peace. I flashed, and Brand's ult followed me, so I didn't bounce, and they completely just crushed that team fight.
Yeah, and we saw early on as well, which really didn't help out the fact that Soaz got off to an amazing start, was 4-0, I think, before anything really went down there. Obviously, it didn't die the entire game either, which really helps out. And we saw Linak as well, who, to be honest, wasn't for me the most amazing performance that we've seen from him throughout, you know, throughout history of Linak playing, you know, jungle characters. Got off to a slow start, seemed to die far too often, but, you know, Against All Authority, you die far too often and you win the game, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
And a quick update, if you guys end up lagging on the stream, if it's not catching up with you quite well, if it's fine enough, you don't do anything because you're great. If it is lagging for you, a refresh should solve that, so FYI if you're having troubles. But yeah, so I want to get that out of the way real quick so you guys, you know, could watch in full glory and syncing and everything. But yeah, the new Linak is not having his best game. Cyanide did really, really well, though. And, oh, by the way, real quick update, Epic did win. So Epic is 2-0 in the group. They have one game left. They are going to be against Fnatic, and that is coming up. I believe that should be the next game. Epic versus Fnatic is next. That is the next game going on. That's probably going to be the one casted. Team Pacific versus AAA probably going to be in the background, but those are concurrent games. And yeah, it's basically, I think players will expect AAA will win. AAA won against Fnatic, and Fnatic won against Pacific, and Pacific's 0-2. So it's a reasonable expectation that AAA will go and win a game. I mean, if they lose, they're actually still in. And there's a three-way tie for second place at that point, most likely. But you know, that's not the biggest do or die game. You know, it's the generally expected result there is AAA winning. But Fnatic versus wow, brain just died. Fnatic versus Epic, really the game to watch right now. It's potentially the top two teams here. Fnatic could come through and bring themselves up a victory, or they could lose out, take third place in the group. I mean, Epic's in great shape right now. They could win a group, and I don't think anyone expected that.
Actually, it's still all up for grabs, right? We could be a three-way tie. If Fnatic beat Epic and AAA beat Pacific, then it is a 2-1, 2-1, 2-1.
Yeah, you're going to have Pacific being 1-2. AAA, if they win, if they lose, you said, right?
If they win.
Well, if AAA loses and Pacific wins, and then Fnatic wins, you still have a big three-way tie round. Actually, if AAA loses, they're out because the tiebreaker would be who wins that match.
Right.
AAA is 1-1. That's another point. But yeah, if AAA does win and then Fnatic wins, yeah, the three teams are all 2-1.
Which is possibly even more interesting. I mean, one team's got to go out today.
Right.
There's lots of things that can still happen. And don't forget, this is just Group A. We've got Group B to come up a little bit later on today. I think we've got an interview going on. I didn't quite hear what was going on there. Yeah, we do have an interview ready with the players, so let's put it over there.
Hello, I'm here with aAa and Fnatic. So we just played the last game. It was a big epic EU match. What are your thoughts on that last game?
Well, last game was really good. Both teams played well. We had a nice time, I think, and a nice time for the spectator too. Then.
Great. And so, what were your thoughts behind the drafts and the picks? So you took Alistar away from them. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, well, Alistar and Rumble were for Shushei. Twisted Fate was because we don't like Twisted Fate, and basically picking the Gragas was something that I think they don't expected from us. That's why they didn't pick it just on their second pick, because we don't play it anymore. But since they didn't pick it, and that's one of the main things of Shushei, we pick it to block him.
Great, thank you so much. And for you, what were your thoughts about this game?
Yeah, well, the game went pretty well from our bottom lane and mid lane, and our jungle did okay as well, but they just gained some advantage with they grouped really nice, and they got some kills with the Gragas on top lane, and they just used their advantage they got and won the game eventually.
Awesome, and you have one more game left, so your record is 1 win, 1 loss right now. What are your thoughts heading into your last game for the day?
Yeah, of course I'm excited, and we'll try our best, at least make it a nice game for everyone.
Great, thank you so much, and back to you guys.
Hi, this is Montek from Riot Games. They're holding me hostage in the Riot offices all weekend, and I only have a second to get this out before they find out I'm here, so listen up. Follow @RiotPendragon and @RiotTamant for some awesome stuff coming up. Look out for chances to win the exclusive Viking Tryndamere skin, and get involved in all the shenanigans going on at DreamHack. If we get enough followers, I might be able to escape while they celebrate. I might be able to get another message out then. I don't know. They keep saying things about cake. I've got to get out of here.
What are you doing?